All right, let's continue with our custom transition with the mask. We set it up. Now we're going to go ahead and create our animated mask layers. So before I do that, we had created this little animation. What I'm going to do is select those keyframes, right click, keyframe assistant, easy ease. This is going to give it a little punch. And then I'm going to go over and turn on my toggle switches modes, turn on some motion blur. There we go. So that looks pretty good. So now I'm going to collapse that layer. And what I want to do is I want to do a transition between this video file and this one. And I can move that animation over a little bit more, give myself a little bit more time. So the transition's got to go from, say, about 20 frames to 8 frames, or a little bit shorter. Okay. Now, I'm going to make a new layer. It's going to be a color. So if nothing's selected, I'm going to grab my shape tool, and I'm going to fill it with a flat filled color and draw that color over the whole canvas, the whole composition. And that's my shape layer 1. I'm going to copy that. Command D or Control D, copy it, and then in this one, I'm going to change it to a different color. So I have 2 shape layers with 2 different colors. Now what I need to do is put those 2 shape layers underneath, above the hoverboard and beneath the logo. So I'm going to grab both of those and drag them down. And I'm going to turn off shape layer 2. So we're only looking at shape layer 1. And I want this to transition, let's turn this off again, right about here to here. So it's just, I just need this to overlap where the 2 videos transition. So now I'm going to turn that shape layer back on. And I want to make sure that shape layer 1 is active. And I'm going to grab, I'm going to make a mask. So if I click the little star, I would be creating another shape. I want to click on create a mask. And so if I click and drag, you'll see that I can activate that mask. See how that's activating the mask? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the mask. See if I drag over, it's going to activate the mask. So I'm going to animate this flying across the screen. So I'm going to set this over on the right like so. And I'm going to go to the mask and click the mask path button. So I've set a keyframe there. Then I'll go a few frames over. And with that mask path, I'm going to, where's my mask here? There it is here. Let's go over. There it is. It's really hard to see. I'm going to grab my selection tool and I want to double click the mask. And then I'm just going to, when I double click it, I can free transform it. I'm going to drag it all the way over my video window. Now I'm going to go over my keyframes over again, go to about to here, and double click it again, the mask, and drag it all the way over to the other side of my project. And now I have this transition. Then the logo pops up. So the transitional element just has to be over when we transition from one video clip to the other. All right. So we're going to make it 2. All right. And what we're going to do, let's select those, right click, Keyframe Assistant, Easy Ease. Let's add a little motion blur. And then I'm going to select those keyframes, Control C or Command C to copy them. I'm going to click up in Shape Layer 2, and I want this to transition in between where the first two were, something about right there. And I'm going to make sure that shape layer is selected and paste. I'm going to turn that on. Start it at the beginning, and now we have something like this. And there we go. So there's a very cool little animation. Maybe the motion blur doesn't work on this one. I'll turn it off. Let's try it with it, without it. And there's our custom transition with a mask. It's a little bit more sophisticated. We're starting to build into doing some real world projects.